Hey guys, welcome to another Be Built by Broza. We're here at the Mecca. I am here with my clients, Mark Durando, Kim Bridges, and I have them here 13 weeks out of the Cal State Championships put on by Muscle Contest. That'll be the first show of the year that the amateurs of Team Merlin will be on stage. And we're going to be doing a few different things today. We're going to have Kim doing some posing with a special guest, Annie Parker, who's a pro IFBB bikini athlete. She's going to be taking Kim through some poses because Kim used to be a figure athlete. Now she's switching over to bikini this year. So Annie has been teaching her posing. We're going to show you some of that. We're also going to show you some of Mark posing as well, 13 weeks out of the show. And also we're going to show you a couple of interesting training concepts, one for biceps, one for triceps. One's called a Merlin Madness set, and the other one is a rest pause hybrid superset that's going to be completely brand new to you guys. We have that all in the show, and of course, Ask Merlin to finish it up. Hope you guys enjoy the show. Okay guys, so Mark is about to demonstrate a Merlin Madness set using a preacher curl machine. The first 5 reps are going to be done with positives of about 4 to 5 seconds. So as you can see, he's raising the weight from the bottom over about 4 to 5 seconds. He's making it very even pull. When you do these long concentric reps, you don't want to jump out of the bottom of the rep. That's like cheating. You want to make sure that the initial burst is all done with your muscle and not with any kind of momentum. Even so that we're focusing on the concentrics, he's still getting a little squeeze at the top. Now that he's finished those first 5, he's going into the portion of the Merlin Madness set where he's holding and squeezing at the top for 4 to 5 seconds. So what we're basically doing here is we're taking several of my training concepts and we're building them into one set. You've seen on here where some exercises we do slow negatives, slow positives, slow stretches, slow holds. We're kind of mixing them into one set. Again, he's holding at the top now for 4 to 5 full seconds, and he's hyper contracting. He's not only holding the weight, he's squeezing at the top and flexing. Now he's moving into the third portion of the Merlin Madness set, where he's going to be lowering the weight. The eccentric rep is going to be done over 4 to 5 seconds. This is really going to start to burn right about this point. You have to really be mentally disciplined, have a high pain threshold to continue the set, and it takes a lot of focus and concentration because this is a very long, tedious set. Again, lowering over 4 to 5 seconds under full control. Now he's finishing off with as many reps as he possibly can. I'm going to give him a little help. Come on, come on, up, come on, up, pull, up. Good, and that right there is a perfect Merlin Madness set. I'm surprised he didn't curse a little bit more. Give that a try if you want to grow. Okay guys, what we want to show you now is a concept I came up with. We're doing rest pause sets. Now normally during rest pause sets, what I have people do is they do an exercise, they go to failure, they rest for 15 seconds, they grab the same weight, they go to failure again, they rest for 30 seconds, they go to failure again. But what we're doing now is we're actually combining this with a second movement in between. The second movement is going to be an antagonistic muscle group, so we're actually going to do this with biceps and triceps. The focal point is going to be the biceps. The triceps is what we're going to use for active rest in between. So instead of just resting completely, we're going to go from the bicep exercise when she reaches failure, and we're going to do a tricep exercise for 15 seconds. It's not going to be the total failure, it's just going to be active rest. Then she goes back to the biceps, she goes to failure again, and then she'll do another 30-second active rest set with triceps, and then finish off with biceps. We'll see how it's done now. Okay guys, this is what I just described. The biceps is the main focal point right now. We're doing a barbell curl. Obviously you can see very strictly, keeping her elbows locked by her sides, not using any body momentum or swinging. She's just using the biceps, getting a full range of motion. She's controlling the negative, about 2 seconds on the way down. And what she's going to do here is she's going to go to failure until she can't do any more strict reps, strict full reps. We're not going to do any forced reps. She's not going to do any cheat reps. She's just going to go to regular failure using strict form. She's got a couple more. Good. Now she's going to go. Here's where it becomes rest pause right here, but with a twist. It's an active rest using the antagonistic muscle group, triceps. So she's gonna work for 15 seconds. She's being timed by Mark, and she's just gonna pump out reps. This is not to beat a failure or trying to kill her. This is just an active rest. And actually by doing this, working the antagonistic muscle group, she's actually helping the biceps to recover more quickly. Now she's back. Focal point is biceps. So again, she's gonna go to failure. And that little triceps movement that she did there, actually by moving in that direction antagonistically, like I said, the biceps are gonna recover better and she's gonna be able to do more reps. So not only is she getting in some more work for the triceps and warming them up, which because we're gonna do triceps today, but she's burning more calories and she's forcing that recovery. Now she's gonna jump for 30 seconds. There's 15 seconds on the first rep pause, 30 seconds on the second rest pause. Now this works well for any antagonistic muscle groups. You could do this with chest and back. You can also do this with quads and hams, and it works equally as well. It's an intense training method. And like I said, it will help the working muscle, the main target muscle, recover faster and more efficiently, which is great for getting more overall reps in the target movement, which in this case is barbell curls. Now she's gonna finish up. This is the final portion of the rest pause hybrid set. She's gonna get as many as she can in strict form. Squeezing it up. There you go, she's down to her last few reps, I think. Squeezing it up. Looking great. And she's just about done. And this is how you do a rest pause hybrid set. Give it a shot, especially if you have a weak body part. It's great.
So we have a little treat today. We actually have the beautiful Kim with us again. And we asked very gracefully, Sassy graced us with her presence on a Saturday at 12 o'clock where it's packed at Gold's Gym Venice.
It's a clown show.
Thank you for me. So Kim, you've been working with Sassy for your next competition, right?
Yes.
Which is?
California State Championships, May 25th.
That's right.
Ooh, the cow.
And when did you decide to hire Sassy? What happened? Who made that happen?
Merlin.
Was that Merlin?
That
Yeah.
happened, yes. Kim highly recommended. She's been awesome. Aw, thank you.
So all the previous show you did, you have no coach for posing?
Well, actually, so I'm switching to bikini for the first time. I was previously a figure competitor.
Oh, okay.
So posing's totally different for bikini.
Wow, awesome, awesome. Annie, how long have you been working with Kim?
This is our second time working together, so it's been, I think, probably 3 or 4 weeks now.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And how does she how is she as a bikini competitor coming from?
She's perfect. Honestly, she's one of the, especially coming from figure, and you already know, some basic steps, and already know how to work the judges. You know, you said you were a dancer. She already knows how to work a room basically, and that's. As long as you know how to walk in heels, you're already a huge leg up from a lot of new competitors that come in. So, she's seasoned, she already knows what she's doing, it's super easy.
Would you say the attitude is very important in bikini?
Oh yeah, and she's definitely got a little sass there, so I love that.
Here goes your nickname. So Annie, you still do a lot of training, for bikini. You still have a lot of people, you're helping people, a lot of people with that?
No, I just do posing because I was a dancer too, and I love it. I literally very, very rarely do any one-on-one nutrition or fitness at all. Mostly because I work with a lot of groups, so I do videos for large groups of I have like 250,000 women that I do groups for weight loss and things like that.
But that's what I mean. You do a lot of posing, coaching, posing,
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So where people can go to actually inquire for your services or help?
Well, you can find me on Instagram at Ms. Annie Parker. Okay.
No more Sassy.
Well, it's still Sassy Physique on Twitter, but on Facebook too, it's just Annie Parker. So.
Okay, you graduated.
Yes, using my real name now. Still Sassy.
All right. So if you guys need some good advice, some good training for bikini and posing, and he's always available. He's always around on Golds, and she's great help. Right, Kim?
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. All right, thank you so much, guys. All right.
Turn to right. back. Turn to the right. To the front. Bicep. Lat spread. Relax, side chest. Side tricep. Either side. Turn to the back. Back double bicep. Nice. Lat spread. Go from the bottom up. Turn to the front. Turn to the front. And the hands on hips muscular. Absent thigh. Give me a couple classical poses. Good? Good. So that's Mark, 13 weeks out of the first show, Cal State Championships. That's what you should look like 13 weeks out. And I'm very proud of this guy. It should be a really, really great year. And we are coming back to the USA's again a little bit later in the
You
year.
look good, Mark.
Thank you.
Congrats, man. All right, Biggie. So it's Merlin Monday again.
Yep.
You got something good for us today.
Yeah, really interesting question, and I think it's a really timely question because you start to see this a lot now, and you see a lot of people talking about it. So I was asked this. I'll read the whole thing. In this, era of social media, it's becoming more and more difficult to differentiate the good coaches from the ones who are unqualified. What's your best advice for someone who wants to hire the perfect coach for them? And what makes you think that you're one of the best?
That's a nice compliment.
Well, yeah, I mean, if that's very nice. If you think that, that's great. Thank you. But I am confident in myself, and I don't like to say I'm one of the best. I'd like to say I'm good at what I do. There are a lot of great coaches out there. I've mentioned many times that there are coaches that are colleagues of mine that I have great respect for, and I have no problem mentioning them and giving them the props where they're due. But it's a really good question because, and I've talked about this a little bit before on my Facebook page, that yes, in this era of social media, everybody, wants to be a star, and, obviously our lives are out there to a much greater degree than they've ever been before. And the sport of bodybuilding, and I'm just calling it bodybuilding, which really relates to all the classes, all physique athletes, has grown so much in the respect that there's so many more people competing because there's so many different classes, and social media has made opportunities for people to put themselves out there and try to get into the industry, but which is good and a bad thing. The good part about it is, hey, it's great. Listen, if you want to get into the fitness industry, it's a great industry. The opportunities are out there. Go after them. I applaud you, and I think you should do it. The bad part is what I like to call, it lowers the IQ of the entire industry. And what I mean by that is that it kind of muddies the waters, because there are some obviously amazing coaches out there, but there are probably even more coaches who are, as you say, unqualified to be coaches who are calling themselves coaches. You see it on Instagram and Facebook all the time where people call themselves coaches, and maybe they have a certification, maybe they don't. Maybe they've competed, maybe they haven't. Maybe they've won one show, maybe they just have a great body. Maybe they've only been doing it for a couple of years, but they're already calling themselves coaches. And I don't think that it's any more correct to call yourself a coach after such little experience than somebody to call themselves a surgeon after maybe going to medical school for 1 year. I mean, no, you have to be a true expert and attend medical school for many years, and then learn your craft and have experience before you become a true surgeon. So it's the same thing in the fitness industry. When you're hiring a coach, it should take the same care as if you were hiring a plastic surgeon, if you were hiring a lawyer, if you were hiring a therapist. And what I'm driving to with that is that there are a lot of coaches out there who, they just want to have a lot of clients and they just want to call themselves coaches because they have great abs or they want to show this or that. Maybe they don't have such great knowledge. So what they do is they give everybody a cookie cutter program. They get as many clients as they can, and everybody's getting the same program. And they charge a small fee every month. And just like those other industries, like I just mentioned, you get what you pay for. If you want cookie cutter stuff that's, with not a lot of basis in experience and true knowledge of working with hundreds of clients over 25, 30 years like I have, not based in true schooling and education, you're going to get what you pay for. You're not going to get the results. If you pay a plastic surgeon where a normal surgery would say cost $10,000 and you find somebody to do it for $2,000, you're probably going to get a botch job. You may get hurt. You could, end up killed. You don't even know. And same thing with a lawyer, with doctors, everybody. The fitness industry is no different and deserves the same amount of respect to the trainers, the coaches, and to the people seeking them out. This is your body that we're talking about. You need somebody who is truly going to take care of you as an individual, your individual needs, your individual goals, your experience level, your injuries that you may have, your weaknesses, your strengths, all the way down to the equipment. You may be working with a home gym versus working, in a Gold's gym versus working in a Platinum Fitness or anywhere else. Your time schedule, you may only be able to train 3 days a week. Some people can train 6 days a week. All these things have to be considered, and a coach needs to be, paying attention to all of this.
In fact, it brings me back to what you told me one day. So when you first started, at one point you actually owned a very nice gym back in New York and stuff, but
Yes.
when you first started, you actually are at-home coach, so you would bring all your equipment in those people's house when they didn't have any equipment, right?
Yeah, what I actually would do is, I had offered, I had worked in a couple of gyms as a trainer, and then I decided I want to go out on my own, and I started probably one of the first in-home coaching or trainers businesses on Long Island, where I originally am from, before it became very popular. And what I started running into with a lot of people that say, well, hey, I'd love to hire you, I'd love to have you be a trainer, but I really don't have anything here. So I eventually said, okay, well, that's fine. So I actually had a car that had luckily it had a lot of space in the trunk, and I used to bring a really small makeshift bench. I used to bring a bar, dumbbells, tons of plates, and I would carry them in and out of these people's houses every single time. Sometimes I'd be going down to the long basement stairs. I didn't care. I was doing it because I wanted them to have something to work with. But actually, the great thing about it is having this limited amount of equipment made me become so proficient and efficient in giving people's workouts because I didn't have a lot of variety. So I had to be very creative. I had to discover new movements. I had
Think
to discover
outside the
new
box.
ways of training.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it actually was a great education for me to do this. Now, of course, I did deal with some people who had beautiful home gyms. They lived in big mansions and everything like that, and that's great. But for the rest of these people, literally, I was bringing equipment in and out. So yeah, that's the way I started this whole thing.
That's awesome.
But it gave me a great education. And then eventually I did open up my own personal training center. And that's where I also gave myself a great education because I used my training business as like a lab.
Yeah.
And I trained so many different types of people, from the elderly to teenagers to football players to wrestlers.
Jerry Seinfeld's sister.
I trained Jerry Seinfeld's sister. Yes. I did train her for a very long time. you know, like I said, to all these different clients, and I had a good amount of equipment, but obviously it was only about 2,000 square feet, so it wasn't the size of like, you know, a giant LA Fitness or something.
Yeah.
But I invented a lot of exercises. I invented a lot of training techniques. That's where one of the places where I came up with my original power up range shock training technique. Started working on that with my clients and, you know, documenting results and things like that.
That's awesome.
So what I'm really getting at here is that you need to be very, very careful. You know, you need to be, you can't just go hire anybody. If you really, truly want a truly good coach, there's some things you need to look for. First thing, experience. They should be in this game for a very long time, and I would say at least 5-10 years to start it out. I have been doing this, coaching people. I think my first client was about 30 years ago. That
Wow.
is pretty much telling people my age, but it's the truth. And you know, that's the first thing you need to look for, because you know, if the person has only pretty much trained themselves, they don't know how to train other people. They know how to train themselves, maybe. They don't know how to train other people, and that's something that needs to be learned.
Yeah.
Because every single person is a different case, even if they're the same age and the same experience level. Everybody has a different physiology. Everybody has a different emotional makeup, hormonal makeup, everything. So you need to have somebody who's worked with vast amounts of clients. I think that if you're hiring a coach to help you get ready for competitions, this person should be an experienced competitor. I don't mean 1 or 2 shows. I mean 20 shows. I mean, they need to learn how to peak people, peak themselves first. I mean, even learning how to peak yourself is difficult in the beginning. You need how to learn that. You need to try out different systems of peaking. You need to try out different systems of dieting, ways to hold on to muscle mass while losing body fat. You know, there's a lot of different ways, you know, to do it. And then you have to learn not only how to do it for yourself, but then you have to learn how to do it for everybody and their individual metabolism. This takes years of experience to do. Going hand in hand with that is also education, which is also very important. I went to school, I majored in psychology, which helps me very much work with people one-on-one. It's been a great benefit to me, but I also took anatomy, physiology, kinesiology. I took everything that supported you know, my desire to know the mind and the body. Then I went on to not have one certification, I have about 12, and I have them in all different separate areas of disciplines in terms of training. Not just, you know, one basic personal trainer certification, but things in nutrition, things in just core training, all kinds of different things. So you want that as well. And then of course you also want a client, you want to have a trainer who is going to treat you as an individual. You do not, those coaches out there, and I'm not going to name anybody, but those coaches out there who have hundreds of clients, they are not giving these people personal attention. And I know this firsthand because I've seen people work with these people and they get plans that are so not suited for them. I will look at it, you know, a girl's diet, and I'll be like, this diet really is better for like a guy than a girl. You know, like, what class are you getting ready for? This isn't good for a bikini competitor. This is more like for a figure girl who needs more muscle. All these types of things, you can't handle it. So I actually limit the amount of clients that I will work with at any given time, because I want to be able to give everybody personal attention. And I mean right down to personal attention to where they can email me and I'm not going to take 2 weeks to get back to them. I'm going to get back to them by the end of the day or the next day. So that's also very, very important.
What would you say is the max client you can handle?
I think the most clients that I ever had at one time that were just truly one-on-one personal clients was 50. And
Wow.
that was, I was working all day,
Yeah,
every day.
I've seen you.
know, now, you know, I also write for Muscle and Fitness, I write for Flex, I write for different websites,
Yeah,
I
your time
have
is
all
more
max,
limited,
I have a
yeah.
lot of other responsibilities, so I've actually cut down a bit,
Yeah.
and I only handle 30 to 35, and I only want to handle people. I don't necessarily have to only handle competitors. I love working with competitors because that's my industry, that's where I'm at. I'm a bodybuilder myself. I turned pro years ago in a natural organization. Now I want to go back to competing NPC Masters. So I'm a bodybuilder myself first and foremost, so I love doing that. But I want to work with anybody who's just passionate about making changes, passionate about bettering their lives, feeling healthier, looking better. I don't care if it's a complete beginner. I don't care if it's a seasoned person. I don't care if it's a man, woman. It doesn't matter. I just love people who are passionate. And if I'm working with a competitor who's not listening to what I'm doing, not sending me his or her photos, I don't want to work with them, and I will get rid of them. I have no problem doing that because they're a reflection of my work.
And
so
makes
I want them to
your
follow.
job harder. Yeah.
Exactly. So, I want somebody who's going to measure their food as I tell them to measure it. If I say that I want pictures every Friday, I want to see pictures every Friday because I'm as dedicated. I will chase people down. A lot of coaches won't do this. They'll just be like, hey, you send me pictures, you do, you don't. I'm not going to send any change. I will chase people down because I am so dedicated to people's results. And I think that's one of the things that makes me one of the better coaches, in the sense that I'm so dedicated to results. I'm so caught up in seeing them. Their results are just as important as mine if I'm getting ready for a show. And that's very, very important, that the coach has passion for what you want to accomplish.
What do you think? What do you think that the top coaches, or maybe not the good coaches out there, what do you think a good solution would be for them to actually not convince, but to prove to the people that they're the right one?
Well, what I think is that if you're good and you know that you're good, and this goes for any coach, and you say you work with people in a gym, give somebody a free session or two. Let them train you for free. Don't charge them. If you are good and they like what you're doing with them, they're going to hire you.
Whereas the shitty ones won't do that because
they won't. They won't do that.
They usually take the money and run.
They would rather have you sign up for 12 sessions, sign something that says this is non-refundable, and then they have your money. And if you don't work with them anymore, they don't care. If you're not doing well with them, and I know this, I've seen this a million times. People sign up for 24 sessions, they pay whatever, a couple $1,000, and they do a few sessions with them. They can't stand this person. They want their money back. Nope, sorry, not refundable, and then take their money. Then you have the other thing now that's become very big, which is what I do most of, is online coaching. I work with people all over the world. Some people I've been working with 8-10 years now. I've never even met them. And I know somebody's going to start this motorcycle. It's going to be really loud. But that's, guerrilla warfare out here. So I do a lot of online coaching. So as an online coach, perhaps you would want to offer somebody whatever service you're going to give, like training, give them some workouts for free. Let them try it. In fact, I'll say it right here. I'm very confident in what I do. I believe I can help people. I want to help people. I know my training systems: FDFS, PRRS, FTX2, EXP.
Let's just wait for a second.
We'll wait for a second.
Thank you.
We love when we're filming.
I know. Every time we shoot without fail.
But that's because we shoot on the spot live.
Sounds like a moped.
There's a lot of It's not even a real motorcycle. It's like a real mini little nothing.
Okay.
But anyway, so I was saying all my training systems, ESPX2, FTX2, Spec. These are all very unique training systems. I built them through my experience of working with hundreds of people. I built them through knowledge of what makes muscles grow physiologically, what has been scientifically proven. I've built them through what I'm working with clients in the trenches, taking notes, documenting, seeing what works, see what doesn't work. So I know that these systems work, and I'm willing, I'll say it here now, I'm willing to give anybody out there who maybe they look me up, maybe they saw my pricing, maybe they're like, I don't know, he's kind of expensive, whatever, I'm not sure if I should work with him. They're on the fence. Yeah. Do I need a coach? Do I not need a coach? Whatever the reason is, I'll offer a week's free of my training.
Wow.
So if you email me, and Dave will probably put this stuff up on the screen, I'll just say my email is bodyfx2@aol.com. My Instagram is @CoachEricBrozer, or you can just look me up on Facebook, also Eric Brozer. We'll put all that up for you. I will offer 1 week of my training using one or more of my systems. We can go through your whole body, whatever body part split you use. I'll give you a workout for each body part, and I will give you the specific. My workouts come with the exercises, the sets, the reps, the tempos that you need to use, and I'll let you feel the difference.
Wow.
And if after a week, you don't think it's a big deal,
you get a free session.
That's fine.
you get a
free
week,
so nothing to lose. And I'll do this for you guys.
Wow.
I'll offer this now. If you happen to be in the area, if you're in California, or if you're coming out for a vacation, whatever, a lot of times I welcome my clients to come train with Dave and I for a session, just to up close see.
That's even better.
Yeah, and to see what the training says. A lot of times, even though it's great doing it online, a lot of clients, like if you watch the last show, Mark, one of my clients, came here. He said, "Oh my God, it's a totally different thing training with me and having me explain the systems and see."
Yep.
So if you're here in the area and you want to come join us for a workout, I'll do that too.
Wow.
So I'm going to offer that now, and I'm going to offer that because I am a coach that is confident that what I do is unique, that what I can do is going to break you out of plateaus, get you on a new level, and that the best training systems available, and to show you that I really care. So
that's awesome, dude.
I will do that. Just hit me up, let me know, and we'll set it up.
All right. Thanks, Big E, man. That's very generous of you.
Cool.
All right.
All right.